Good morning, happy Monday to all of you. So it's that week in school where all of a sudden all those lessons that we slept through, didn't really pay attention to, or worked really hard in, depending on what you've done all year, finally it matters. Exam week. How do you feel? Some of you are going to feel fine, you've worked hard, you know the material, happy to demonstrate how hard you've worked and receive the compliments and the praises of your teachers. Others, you know you haven't worked so hard. You know it's not gone so well. So you're putting on the impression of you don't really care, it's not that important, laughing it all off because it's easy to laugh it off than admit to yourselves that you've maybe made some wrong choices. And then there's a larger group of you in the middle who are probably a bit nervous. You want to do well and you're nervous. What questions will there be? What topics will come up? Will I be able to show what I can do? Will it be embarrassing? Will it be okay? I'm feeling a bit stressed and it's going to be a tough week. So let me share with you an amazing insight from a Torah story that we're actually going to hear this coming Shabbat. It's a famous story. Most of you probably know of its existence. So the Jewish people have been wandering in the desert for quite a while and they're getting closer and closer to the land of Israel. And now a group of people say to Moshe, hey, we want to just go and just check out the land before we move in. Let us send a mission to go and explore. What's the best way to come in? What will we find when we get to the land? So 12 of them get the green light to go into Israel on a mission. And we know that they come back after those 40 days with the most terrible report. 10 out of the group of 12 condemn the land of Israel. It's a terrifying place, full of scary tall people. It's going to be impossible. Everything's wrong with it. We're going to die. It's a mission that we're going to lose. 2 had positive reports and they managed to maintain their perspective even though the majority were against them. But there's one line in that story which is easy to read over and not to pay too much attention to it. When the group of 10 come back, they say something like, we were like grasshoppers in their eyes. What they meant to suggest is that we are so small, we are so insignificant, we are nothing. We haven't got a chance to beat these people. We're tiny, they're strong, it's doomed. But how does anyone really ever know how you look in the eyes of another person? Well, if they tell you, if they share their opinion of you, then you know it. But that's not, and we were in their eyes. You can say, they told us, they laughed at us, they made fun of us, they made us feel by talking to us. But here we don't have that. Here there's no communication. Here it's just perception. We feel like nothing. We feel like we've failed. We feel like losers. We feel. It's such a terrible thing to do where you imagine what other people think about you, good or bad, but it's generally bad. And you imagine all kind of terrible scenarios. Some of you are going into the exam, I know I'm going to do badly. There's no point in even trying. Some of you are going in the exam thinking, I'm so scared of losing my reputation as that clever student. I'm not confident, not because I can't do it, but because what if I don't get that grade that everybody expects me to get? How will I then look at them in the eye? What will they then think of me? And that's probably the real challenge this week. Not whether you're going to do well or not, but your sense of self. How do you imagine, or what are you imagining everybody else thinking about you? Have you told a story about yourself that's simply not true? The teacher doesn't think I'm very good. The teacher this, the school thinks, other people think. And often what happens is when we start speaking like that is that we actually make that come true. We go about sometimes not even realizing, making sure that the way we think others are thinking about us is the way that they do. So please don't do that. For those who are starting today, if you haven't done any revision, if you've got time in the day, use it. Go home tonight. think about your exams tomorrow. And if your exams don't start till later in the week, then use the time that you have to do well. Don't waste time on imagining what people might think of you. Don't waste time on imagining what the school must think of you. Don't imagine anything. Be judged on what you do. Be counted for who you are. Try it. Because that, I think, is the greatest challenge you have this week. Let us know who you are. Try. And all we can ask is you put in the effort, and then we can give you the reward. Good luck. Have a good day.